I saw this tweet today from a writer. There's a lot of writers on Twitter. If you don't know that, you can find them with hashtags, and then you just start finding each other. And famous writers and not famous writers, published, a lot of published, somewhere writers and people who aren't published. It's really it's a nice community. Anyway, this writer published today, tweeted today, and it just made me laugh. Very sarcastically said, I just read it today. I was reminded of this very important rule that writers need to write every day or they're not writers. And he said, and I was so glad to be reminded of that. He said, it's like surgeons. Like if they don't have a surgery one day, then they forget how to surge. That's what he's called it. Forget how to surgeon. They have to go back to surge school. So I was really glad. I was really glad to be reminded. It was very funny, probably funnier when he said it, but he called it surge school. And it's like, who comes up with these rules? I would like to know who came up with the rule that in order to be a writer, you have to write every day. And a lot of people journal every day. That's fine. I don't know. Is that writing? It is. But work on your project every day to be a writer. I'm sorry, you don't. That's crazy. But you know what you do have to do? Writing coach here speaking. You need a schedule. And maybe that's what that's about. Maybe the person who originally decided this was true didn't know that you could create a schedule that worked for you, and maybe writing every day kept you on, that was the schedule. But it doesn't have to be that. So here's what I suggest to my clients and participants in my workshops. Create a schedule every week. I've probably recorded this before, but I'm going to tell you again. Create a schedule every week, whatever the beginning of your week is. I do it like on Sunday night or Monday morning, whatever. Create your writing schedule for the week, because you have things to do. You maybe work a full-time job. You maybe have children. Maybe you have two jobs. Maybe you're caring for an elderly parent. Whatever, you have a life outside of your writing life. So create a schedule for yourself each week and decide when you are writing. Write it down. It's a commitment. It's a commitment to yourself and to your writing muse, who is a real thing. Your writing muse is a real energy. I sincerely believe that. It may be a piece of you, it may be outside of you. I don't really know how it works, but it's a true entity. So you're making a commitment to your creative self, making a commitment to you, and you show up. So I just recently had a conversation with somebody whose work I've done a developmental edit on, who's been in my workshops, and this person had stopped writing, was having difficulty getting started, just wasn't motivated. And so I convinced this person to create a schedule. Try it. They did. They're off and running. Really, just a schedule of writing 2 days a week, not all day, for an hour. And what this person told me was that after doing it, setting up a time like Tuesday at 1:00, they wrote actually for 3 hours. So you can go beyond it. This was the second week of it. The first week, you can just stick to what you put down. Show up. You have to show up. That's the only rule. That's the only rule. You create a schedule and you show up. So if you're sick that day, you show up for 10 minutes. If you really just can't think of anything to say, you show up and you write garbage. Doesn't matter what you write. You just need a schedule and you show up. Really, I'm telling you, that's it. That's the only rule. Doesn't have to be every day. It can be one day a week for 20 minutes. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You will change it each week. Works for a lot of writers I work with. They schedule 2 or 3 days a week for an hour or two. And then when you're like in the heat of a project, maybe, or revising something and you have more time, you might schedule more. There are times you may schedule less. There may be times you take a week off, but you make that decision ahead of time. My schedule says no writing this week. So that's it. I encourage you to experiment with that. And again, you can change it every week. It's not in stone. And create your schedule. Some people know what time you're starting, but some people say, I'm going to write for an hour, or some people say, I'm going to write 500 words, so however you choose to do it, if it's by words or time spent, um, whatever works for you. You can experiment with that too. Okay, it's yours. You don't have to write every day. Okay, I'm Pam Sorellis of Winged Horse Writing Studio, and I help writers lift their voices. You can visit my website if you want to learn more, wingedhorsewritingstudio.com. Take care.